Heavy Rum. I am going to go over with you how to write your introduction today. So your introduction is going to be a little bit different than it usually is. There's no thesis in your introduction because usually your thesis is the last sentence of your introduction, but instead your thesis is going to be a separate paragraph after introduction. So you're going to start with really broad ideas in your introduction, and that'll be combined with a hook. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. You want to make sure you end your introduction with more specific ideas, and I'm going to show you how you can do this. The checklist that we want to have for our introduction is that it has a hook, it contains sufficient background information, and uses effective transitions. So you're going to start with really broad ideas, and if you look at the guided questions, it says, what is a shocking fact about your topic? And so a shocking fact that I found is that 2.3 million people live in food deserts in the US, and I got that from DoSomething.org, and of those people, 13 million of them are children. I can then continue writing this, and I know that I want to end with more specific ideas and end with my research question. So my research question is, how are food deserts impacted by, or how are kids in food deserts impacted by school closures during coronavirus? So your introduction will end in this, this ultimately led me to ask the question, how are kids who live in food deserts impacted by school closures during coronavirus? I'm going to just move this for the sake of this. So I need to get from talking about food deserts to talking about school closures for kids who live in food deserts. So I'm first going to start with talking about what food deserts are. Food deserts are areas and communities that have grocery stores over 1 mile from homes. Food deserts are also often associated with low-income communities of color. Food deserts lead to a lack of access to healthy food for families. Then I need to start transitioning to starting to talk about coronavirus. So I can say maybe that in March of 2020, though, since coronavirus has hit, this has only worsened food accessibility for these same families. This has ultimately led me to ask the question, how are kids who live in food deserts impacted by school closures during coronavirus? And then I'm going to continue to add more context in the thesis paragraph. So here I have a hook, which is this shocking fact at the beginning. How I found this was I simply just Googled how many kids live in food deserts in the US, and I still have it cited here. You still need to cite that. Then I have background information all throughout. I'm actually going to add research question here. And contains sufficient background information. What I want you to see is that I don't abruptly go from this all the way down to my research question. I need this background information that goes from one thing to the next thing, that connects all these ideas together. I also use effective transitions, and I'm going to highlight where I used effective transitions. I say they're also often used. They lead to a lack of I'm seeing that I actually don't have that many transitions, so I'm going to add one. I'm adding on here further. Oops, sorry. And this ultimately led to So what you'll see is, again, I start with really broad ideas and end with more specific ideas. I have my hook, my background information, transition words, and my research question. You can find this example either here or in the exemplars document. And this is going to be linked to your when you click on the example, this is how you find where this example is.